people that will stick with martial arts and do better by having consistency and not just exaggerate it too much. Do you need to train martial arts 7 days a week? No. Do you need to lift weights 7 days a week? No. Hello, this is James Cox with the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast. Today is episode number 58, and let's discuss burnout. Martial arts training burnout, burnout in life, just those things that get us too overwhelmed. It's easy to have too many irons in the fire, lots going on at once. To be so excited about something like the martial arts that it just engulfs you and that's all you're doing. And then before you know it, you're burned out. So maybe there's not enough balance of what's happening. You can really be exhausted by just having a constant feeling of being swamped, right? I go through that sometimes. I don't think I go through this in my martial arts training. At least I like to really think and say that I've never been burned out in martial arts. I love it so much. I have a lot of tricks in how I don't get burned out, but I can get overwhelmed, and a lot of that comes from owning and operating the businesses with lots of things happening at once. But you can easily have a lot of physical, a lot of mental, emotional stress. Burnout happens when you're overwhelmed. You're stuck in your head. You just can't seem to keep up with the demands. Martial arts can be very demanding. If you're a competitor, that can be very demanding, and the stress that it takes to compete, especially at high levels. So if you have too many doubts and negativity, then you're not going to have good energy. You're not going to be productive. You're not going to concentrate. And just what about all the time that you're wasting with your negative thoughts and feelings, and it's not going to serve you to get ahead? So there's lots of things that we could talk about here. I will start with, as a martial arts instructor and all these years that I've been teaching, I remember early on as a young instructor, I'd be very excited when I had one of those students that started, and they were one of those students that they came in, man, they wanted the highest program. They wanted to be there every day. They came early. They left late. Everything we did, they wanted to be a part of it. They were just a permanent fixture of that martial arts school. And you think it's great, and then sometimes early on you pick those as the most likely to succeed, right? Man, this student's going to be an amazing black belt. This student's going to be here forever. And maybe because they're there too much, and then all of a sudden they disappear. And later on, recognize that they were burned out. They went in too deep, too fast. There's a reason you could start in the shallow end of the pool and then get into the deep, right? So you kind of take your time, and I think that's better. Maybe it's not for everyone. Personally, and I've seen other people like me, I went all in and I stayed all in, but I really needed it. I fell in love. I found the passion, the deeper why. I knew it was for me and what I was going to do. But I do see more so people that will stick with martial arts and do better by having consistency and not just exaggerate it too much. Do you need to train martial arts 7 days a week? No. Do you need to lift weights 7 days a week? No. All right. Now, depending on what's going on, you got a big event coming up, you're doubling up, or you're doing 2-a-days or something there. But for the most part, I think a little balance will go a long ways. That's the martial arts. That's the yin and the yang. So, a little in between things there. Students can be too excited sometimes at first, too ambitious, and, just too much happen too fast. What's that saying? Inch by inch is a cinch, and yard by yard is just too hard, right? So take your time and ease into your training just as long as you stay consistent. There used to be a time where more classes is what sold people, that people would call around and be like, well, how many times can I come a week? One school says 2, the other one says 4. They join the other school because more times was the added benefit. I think we're just busy and there's lots of other things going on, and, martial arts is not your entire life. So sometimes coming more days is not really the added benefit. How about quality over quantity? Come 2-3 times a week, every week. I think 3 times a week, good hard martial arts training on the average is solid. Now, if you're competing in things, you need more than that. But anyway, that's my concept on that. You can rest here and there. That makes a difference. Just don't ever quit. Be consistent and have that balance. What happens with being burned out? I think it's just time management might be an issue, especially when you have too much going on. These are things that I even struggle with, is what's the biggest priority right now at this time that you could or should be doing. When I think of time management, I think of, it was a book or something that was going around, and it was like you wake up every morning, and if you just swallow the biggest, nastiest frog first thing in the morning, meaning you dealt with the most challenging thing that you needed to take care of first, then the rest of the day was going to be easier. I mean, if you swallowed a big nasty frog every morning, the rest of your day is going to get much better, right? So to kind of knock out that big project, first thing, that would help you manage your time so you're not procrastinating and carrying such a burden of something that is important that you need to get done, but you keep putting it off. So handle it, just do it, right? That could be some time management things and what to do there. Dealing with your stress, well, hey, I'm a martial artist, so let's go punch some bags or get a hard workout or something like that. But, to release your stress, if it's not in your martial arts and you find other things from, breath work to just taking better care of yourself. If I get some other tips on this, then always think of the three things and your own self-care, of course. It's your exercise, your diet, and your sleep. And you probably hear things about this all the time. What podcast on health and fitness or personal development doesn't talk about these things right now? But we know and we've learned, and all the studies have shown that we need sleep. People used to brag about surviving on 3 hours of sleep a night. Now you see top athletes bragging about getting 12 a night, but because they know the power of sleep and how it's necessary to rejuvenate the mind, the body, the soul. Exercise, your health is your life. So if you're not exercising and you're not exercising completely, if you're not getting cardio, strength, flexibility, full physical fitness, then you're not servicing yourself there either. And then of course, diet. We are what we eat, right? I've ate junk and I felt like junk. So to have a better diet and whatever diet works for you, those are whole other concepts. But, I try to remember the saying of we want to eat to live and not live to eat. It's kind of fun the other way though, right? Sometimes living to eat, but what you put in your body and all of those things are important. Martial artists, not burning out. Take some days off. Like I said, if you're doing 3-4 times a week, 2, 3, 4, whatever, you have some days off where you don't do any martial arts. Yeah, you take a break from that, and then you kind of go back with a little more appreciation, and your body is refreshed as well, Now, take days off. Don't take weeks off. That just is too much, and those weeks become months and years, and then it becomes regrets that you should have or you could have, and you quit on something that was so good for you. So be very careful about taking too much time off, but maybe it's the weekend, right? If you're training Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you take Saturday, Sunday off. I know personally, I feel very grateful that I've always done such a well-rounded mixed martial art. Our style is Kajukembo, which combines karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, Kempo, Chinese boxing. My instructor taught more than just that. We were doing taekwondo. We were doing whatever else, man. Now, as I started learning and developing and got rank in other martial arts styles, we're doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We're doing Krav Maga. We're doing Muay Thai. Dude, I'll teach anything. If it's good, my students can benefit from it, and I can gain something from it. That variety of martial arts training has helped me, and I would recommend you as well to mix it up a little bit. So let's just say, for instance, man, if I was tired of boxing, I was getting burned out because I was boxing every day, no big deal. I just focus more on kicking now. Maybe the kickboxing is I'm just getting tired of that. Well, go put some more time and effort and self-education, or get some training in self-defense and weapons. Maybe you want to compete, or you want to compete in different ways. But I really think that versatility has helped me from never really getting burned out on my martial arts training. If I did one thing and one thing only, here's could be a debate. One thing and one thing only, you would be great at it. That's for sure. And maybe that's it. You're going to the Olympics in judo. Well, you need to spend all your time on judo, right? But if that's not your goal, then that variety will give you something else to work on. Set up schedules, just like you do with weight training, If you're doing whatever, chest and shoulders on Monday, bis and tris on Wednesday, well, maybe you're doing kickboxing on Monday, jiu-jitsu on Wednesday, and Krav Maga on Friday. Just some other things if you have that control and ability to mix up your martial arts training. Learn from different people. You got so much information out there. Be careful what you find online. It's not all good. It's not all true. Find a good martial arts instructor and continue that journey with some variety. So that's going to help you not get burned out. And just piece of keeping it there, Competition's a great thing. I still compete at things here and there. I think I always will. Early on, it might have been too much. A lot of people did get burned out. My peers and people that I started and trained with, they didn't continue at the level that I did. But, again, I kind of was either crazy or just unique in that I fell into it. There was times where I would compete in a kickboxing fight on one weekend, literally the next weekend a boxing fight, literally the next weekend a karate tournament, and there were many times where there was no rest. But it was different competitions a lot of times. Even now, I'll still try to compete. If I want to try and do a jiu-jitsu tournament or bodybuilding or run a Spartan race or even just competing with myself on trying to improve and get to the next level. So competition will help you on the burnout because everything is a little different. I would say look for some different organizations and, things like that. But, overall, what else do you think and what can you do on preventing that? Because it's probably going to happen. I see it happen more than, it should. And it's unfortunate when someone, there's something that they can gain from that and then they lose it because they give up or quit because of that temporary feeling. Because maybe that burnout is just a temporary feeling. So go do something, take a break, you get over it and you get refreshed and, you can fill back up. Last thing that I would say with this is always important, I think, in our martial arts is to teach. So that's to give back, that's to pay it forward. My instructor taught me early on, because I was teaching early on, is that teaching is the ultimate lesson, to be able to articulate, communicate the way you throw a kick or a punch to someone else. It's disguised repetition for you, because if you can teach something, you're getting much better at yourself as well. And then you're just, again, impacting other people's lives and you're building leadership and good qualities with other people. So when you can get to the place where you can teach your martial arts, then do it. That's going to help you as well. So it's not just about you. Remember, it's about them. Guys, that's what I wanted to talk about. So hopefully you got something from it. Let me know how I can help you. Check out our YouTube channel, James Cox Martial Arts. Follow these podcasts. We've had some wonderful interviews and many more coming. And make some comments on other things that you might like to hear. All right, thanks.